Hey guys, this is going to be a tutorial on how to make your first room in Scythe, and I'm going to treat you like you've never used Scythe before. So first you need to open it, and you can do that because it's an editor mode. You go down here and you choose Scythe, or you hit Shift 6. And then here's all your tools here, and here's your selection tools, and these are your selection modifiers, and some other stuff that you don't need to worry about in this tutorial. So first thing is we're going to make a block, and I'm going to go over here, and you have 6 different ways to make your geo here, and we're mainly going to be doing add block and add rectangle. And you can see that this has a hotkey Shift B, and this one is Shift R. I'm going to be doing that a lot. You can see that in the overlay over here. So whenever you see me making geo, I'm going to be hitting those hotkeys. But if we need to make anything else like this, I'm going to be going back to block tools. But mainly we're going to be sitting in the selection tools here. So let's get started. I'm going to hit this for the first time and the last time. I'm going to drag out a block. And I'm going to show you like 3 different ways to make a very simple room. So drag it out like this, let go, and then I can hit accept. So now I can select it when I'm in this mode, which is you hit 4 to go to this selection mode. This is just the default Unreal version of moving things. A little buggy. And you have vertices, edges, and polygroups or quads. And you can get to these through 1, 2, 3, and 4 hotkeys here, like that. So when you're in vertices mode, you can select vertices, obviously, edge mode, edges, polygroups, quads, or faces. And these ones over here, these are just for triangles. You're not really going to be working too much in this mode. I don't really want you to. But sometimes you need to check out your triangles and do something with them. So they're there if you need them, but mostly we're going to be working in polygroups. So when you hit 3, you can select a face here. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to drag this up, and you can see the measurements there. So I'm going to make this 350 high, and then I'm going to double click to select the whole thing, and I'm going to go into the selection tools where we're going to sit in here for probably the rest of the tutorial. Now I'm going to click invert or hit Shift F. So I'm going to show you the command that I'm going to be clicking, and then I'm probably going to be using hotkeys from then out. So because I don't generally go here and click a lot of these things. So I'm going to hit that. And what that does is it inverts the normals, which means it changes the way the wall is facing, because these are one-sided walls. So now they're all inside. And then I'm going to select all again just to fix, you notice it's stretched here. I'm just going to click this, align to grid, and this is a world aligned. It's not a world aligned material, but it makes your materials act like they're world aligned. And there you go, it's all nice and fixed up. And then we're going to just go back to this object mode for, I'm going to hold down L and click a light in here. That's a little Unreal shortcut. I'm going to go to lit here, or Alt 4. We were in unlit. I like to usually do my work in unlit just so I can see, but you go to lit here, and then we're going to hit play because I have a first person controller here. You know, we made a room. That's a very simple room, but we made it. And then another way of making a room, that's my favorite way of making a room, by the way, but another way of making a room, we're going to go back and we're going to hit Shift B, drag that back out, just like so. Oh, we should go back to unlit so we can see what we're doing. Hit enter or accept. Oh, I'm sorry, we shouldn't have done that. Go back to your block tool, Shift B, and then if I hold down Control, I can flip this up like that, and this lets you make walls very easily. So, what is that? Making these ones 300 high. And you could just drag this normally out. I should mention, when you drag these things out, the height is your current grid, and you can change your grid either by clicking here and doing this, or your brackets. I use brackets a lot. So like if I'm going to drag out this and I want it to be 10 high, I just make sure my grid is 10, drag it out, bam, there you go. So anyways, we're in here, do the same thing, drop my guy in there, we got another one. And you know, there's a lot more triangles to do, you know, but it's not really a big deal. I'm not going to stop anybody who really wants to work that way. And then another way is doing, you know, the modular approach, which is, you know, the standard AAA experience where you would do, you know, you would do, I'm going to do a rectangle here, so Shift R, and I'm going to make this 200 by 200, just 2 meters, 2 by 2 meters. Hit accept. And then, you know, I'll actually make this like they do, so it just makes more sense. So I'm going to find a texture or material over here. I just selected it over there on the other screen, but you know, you do that, you hit apply material. The shortcut for this, it doesn't display it, but it's Shift T. So remember that one, that's a really useful one. If I apply that, then that's on there. I'm going to make sure it's proper, yep. So this is, you know, the standard way that people like to make levels in Unreal, you know, the modular approach, just like that. Yeah, I'm alt dragging here. And then we need our modular walls. So I went back into rectangle mode, hold down Control, 200 by 200, and then get a wall out here. Now we got these walls. Around a position. And you know, why would you do modular like this? It's just because it makes the renderer happy. Unreal's renderer, especially with like Lumen and Nanite and stuff like that. But you know, I don't want you to feel like you're limited to this, like you have to do this. And I guess I'll do this too. Just do the 200 by 200. I'm gonna invert this. Remember how to do that. And then I'll grab a ceiling texture. Do that, make sure it's on there perfect. Do the same thing. Oh, I made this too big. I'll show you a little trick here. Okay. So go into edge mode, and then now I can move this so it's proper, and then I'll fit that 200 by 200. And then get my light out. And hopefully I fit in here. Can I not fit in there? Where am I? Can I not fit in here? All right, I barely fit in here. Okay, so that's, I just made it for the actual texture size and stuff like that. I wasn't really thinking that I needed to fit in here, but you kind of get it. This is the modular approach. And after you make these modular pieces, you would probably take this, find where it is, and you could rename this to floor, wood, A, and then put this in probably another static mesh folder so that you can easily, reuse this, I hope all that makes sense. So yeah, those are the three ways of making a room. So I'm going to add just a little bit more to this just so you really understand how these rooms are made. So I'm going to go into face mode. I'm going to make this a little bigger, probably in both directions here. And then double click, select them all, and align to grid again because, when the textures are off, it feels a little weird to me. And then make some pillars here. Oh, I still have my material over here selected. I'll show you a little trick. If you do Shift Alt, let's see, let's find another. Yeah, Shift Alt. What am I hitting here? 5. It selects this one. Yeah, that's a good pillar one. I'm gonna grab this, hold down Caps Lock, and then that matches that. Do this again. Double click and align to grid. It's perfect. And then you might want to clean this up. You might want to select that face and this face and hit delete. And now you don't have to worry about those. Make sure my light's not in a pillar here. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Yeah. And this comes with collision. And then I'm going to show you how to make a throughway to another room here, because you might get a little stuck on that unless I show you this, and it should save all here. I'm going to take this wall, because this is all one mesh still, not the pillars, but this room is still one mesh. So I'm going to take this wall specifically, and I'm going to hit extract, and you can see extract the selected faces into their own mesh. So it's gonna, if you look down here, you're going to see a new mesh being made. There it is. So now this is its own mesh. That's a mesh, and that's a mesh. And in Scythe right now, you can't edit two meshes at the same time. You can only select one and work with their faces. I hope to do that post-release, because it's a big deal. All right, so we're going to start working on this wall here. So this, when you look at these edges here, when you select these edges, you notice that they're dashed. That means they're not connected to anything. They're the boundaries of that mesh. So I'm going to select that, I'm going to select that, and I'm going to hit connect, or I'm going to hit V, and that gives me a new edge. So I'm going to move this probably here, and just because it drives me nuts, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start hitting this shortcut, Control-Shift-G. And then I'm going to do this, select the other one, V, move that over, and then I'm going to hit this. I'm going to show you a new thing. If I select this, the rings, which is a shortcut is X, you're going to see that it selects all these edges here to the sides of it. And then I'm going to hit V again. I'm going to move this up. 250 is probably fine. I can fit through 250. And then, yeah, we're done with that. I'm going to do that. Hit that again. And then now we're going to make this little hallway here. So if I hold down Shift and I move this, we're extruding. Let go. Now we just made that extrusion. So like I can drop this guy in here and go in here. So how do we make that other room? We're going to grab that. We're going to extrude again. And you can do really cool stuff here. Let me just show you some cool stuff. So if I do that, and then I grab that face and do that, like now things are getting interesting, you know? I'm just trying to show you guys, like, you know, show you guys exciting things that you can do. Like, oh, this is like getting your creative juices flowing here. I'll do that again. All right, so we're gonna go into a room over here. So how do we do that? Okay, we're gonna extrude again. Yeah, we'll just make it that big. And then grab these two. And let me just say, there's no perfect way to make a new room every time. I'm just showing you ways of doing this that I like to use here and there. But sometimes I do it different ways too. You know, don't always have to follow how I'm doing this. You know, you can kind of figure out new, quick ways to make a room for you. So I'm going to go into this mode, R, which is scale mode, hold down Shift, and it's now expanding out our room here. We'll just make a smaller room here, like so. And then we want to raise this ceiling up. We can see how big it is, 350, perfect. And then we'll add a light in here. So let's start back over here. Yeah, and then that's how you make your room. So we can actually align to grid here. Why is this acting funky? There you go. I don't know. I had to exit Scythe and go back into it for a second, but that's working now. Yeah, it's pre-alpha right now, so I'm in 0.3.0 is the version I'm in right now. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Beautiful. Look how quick that was too. And you can start doing really interesting things here. Drag this down. You can make a little stairway here. Just showing you things real quick just so you can understand how this can work. Because Shift Extrude also works with stairs. And then I'll show you a little trick here. So let's say you don't really want to deal with all that. We're going to go in 2D for a second because it's a little easier to work with in this specific instance. So I'm holding Alt, dragging that. Make sure this connects. I mean, that's fine. Let's go back into this. Gonna raise this back up just so I should be using caps lock here. Gonna raise this back up. Let's make sure I'm hitting. Yeah, perfect. It's hard to see right there because my light's not showing there. But yeah, that's perfect. And then I could choose a different material here. In the grid. So these are two different meshes here. So what do we do with this? We could select that, and then we can merge the meshes here or hit M. And now that's one mesh. Perfect. And now we can reuse it if we really care to. So let's run through this. Look at that. Look how quick that was. That's great. And if we wanted to, these are all like, the same instance technically, So if we wanted to make this one a little fancier, these two a little fancier, we could do that. I can save as new mesh. And what that just did is it's kind of like the equivalent of save as. It duplicate the mesh asset and continue adding the duplicate. So it just makes a new asset out of it, and it places that new one here and gets rid of the old one. And we'll remove this because we want to work on this thing. So if I select this and hit X to select the rings, and then I can hit B or hit this bevel here, and then probably just do 10. Now interesting things are happening here. And then we'll just drag that over. Look at that. And see, these didn't change. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then if we wanted to make a little tunnel here, we can do this really cool trick. I'm going to go back into 2D for this one. Hit F to get the top view here. Move this pivot by holding middle click and moving it. And then we're going to go into rotation mode. And then we can, oh, my rotation's really big. Let me undo that actually. We do that again because this rotation here is really big. So I like it at like 15. Do that again. I'll go over here so we can visually see what's happening. I'm holding shift here and doing this. And look at how easy that is. That's beautiful. Difficult to UV these right now, but hopefully it'll be easier in the future. And all right, and then this is a blockout, but I actually want to show you guys how to texture this because texturing is so easy. Applying texture is so easy in Scythe that you might as well, because what is a blockout? It's kind of like showing how it plays and stuff like that, and kind of giving the illusion of like what's possibly here and things. And you could just change your walls to something else and make it a little more interesting and a little more convincing to the people who are playing your level. So let's just choosing let's do what we did before. So I got it here. Gonna do that. I'm hitting Shift T, and then you can click and drag like so. Got a stairs texture actually, so I'm gonna You know why this acted a little weird? Because they're not connected right here on this edge. So I'll actually show you how to do that. If we, let's see, do I have to hold Shift? If I hold Control Alt and then do that, and then merge, now it's one piece. So now when I double click, it should select the entire thing. So that's how to do that in case you're wondering and you get stuck on something like that. Oh yeah, that looks good. And little secret, Shift, right click will pick up that material that's on there. And I'm just going to add it to that too. We'll make the whole thing wood. Yeah, that's floors. We're going to do ceiling. Okay, so this, you don't have to do this. You can actually hold down caps lock and then double click and it'll select all those like that. Get some concrete for these guys. And for these too. Concrete looks like ceiling. And then a wall. The walls are going to be a little different here. I'll select these three. I'll do that. And you notice like, oh, well, I wish this was all the way up here. How do we do that? I mean, you could do fit, and it's like, oh, well, that doesn't really. Yes, I'm gonna move these things out of the way. I'm just gonna delete those. We're fine with these two pillars. Yeah, fit doesn't really do it for us. How do we make this work? So you can do keep ratio, and then fit to face height, and it'll keep the ratio. It'll push it all the way up here and keep the width ratio, so it's perfect. But you might run into, always align the grid, by the way, before you do crazy stuff. This works like that, but what about this one? This one's a little strange. So if I do this, apply that, and then I do this, well, that's not right. That's because you have to treat as one, and always align the grid before you do this. Treat as one, click that, and there you go. Look at that. And you could do, oh, that's right, these are two different meshes here. I was going to show you could select them all and also do treat as one and it would work. So yeah, there you go there. It's looking real good. And then we're going to use probably just a different wall here. And we'll continue here like that. So you can hold down caps lock and double click, or you can hold down an alternate of caps lock and hold like mouse 4 or mouse 5 and double click. Like so. Look at that, easy. And I guess I'll just pick up this. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll make this, I guess, a little different just for kicks. And, you know, we'll say that's a skylight or something. So I think we're done with that. So now we can just run through it now. And now, like, now your blockout almost looks like an actual level that somebody put a lot of effort into. And honestly, I think that's it. I think that's all. I'll stop here for this tutorial, and probably in another tutorial, I'll show you how to like actually do the environment art and show you how to make like more detailed bits. And yeah, that'll be cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.